In today's video, I'm going to show you how to easily load and use Slippery Pete's pistol grip grease guns. We will highlight differences between the 14-ounce grease gun and the 3-ounce grease gun model. For this tutorial, you will need your Slippery Pete pistol grip grease gun, which includes an 18-inch flexible hose, 12-inch for the 3-ounce model, and a 5-inch rigid pipe with a grease coupler on the end, a new 14-ounce or 3-ounce grease cartridge depending which grease gun you have, a couple of adjustable wrenches, and a 5mm hex key. First, unscrew the head of your Slippery Pete grease gun. Then, pull back on the spring-loaded T-handle and slide it into the notch on the end cap. Make sure the rod stays in the notch the whole time while you are loading the grease cartridge into the barrel. Next, remove the plastic cap off of your grease cartridge before loading it into the barrel. Slide the exposed end in first, and remove the pop top off the other end of the grease cartridge and screw the head back on. For the 3-ounce grease cartridge, you will peel off the foil seal and screw the head back on. Now, we are going to take our black 18-inch flex hose and screw it into the grease gun outlet. Use an adjustable wrench to finish tightening. Unscrew your grease coupler off of the rigid pipe and screw it onto the other end of the flex hose. Tighten it with 2 adjustable wrenches, one on the flex hose and the other on the coupler. To use the 12-inch flex tube with the 3-ounce grease gun, you will first need to unscrew the Allen screw on the top of the grease gun head with a 5mm hex key. Then screw and tighten that Allen screw into the outlet that is perpendicular to the top outlet. The flex tube should then be screwed into the top outlet hole, after which you should screw and tighten the grease coupler onto the other end of the flex tube. For these next steps, we are going to force air pockets out of our grease cartridge. Turn the T-handle about 1/4 turn to engage the end of the plunger rod with the plunger. With one finger pushing down on the air vent button on the top of the grease gun, push firmly on the T-handle as if trying to force the plunger rod back into the barrel. This will force out any trapped air inside the grease cartridge. You might hear a popping sound when air is forced out. Turn the T-handle 1/4 turn again and push the plunger rod back inside the barrel to its original position. Pump the grease gun several times until you see grease coming out of the coupler. Since the 3-ounce grease gun doesn't have an air vent button, simply unscrew the barrel about 1 full turn and then follow the same steps as the 14-ounce model. After forcing the air pocket out, retighten the barrel and pump the grease gun several times until you see grease coming out of the coupler. Now we can start pumping grease. To grease a lawn tractor, like this one here, loosen the end of the grease coupler using an adjustable wrench and only unscrew the coupler about 1 full turn so it doesn't come undone. Loosening this makes it easier to snap the coupler onto grease fittings, like so. Then, once it is snapped on, retighten the end of the coupler with the adjustable wrench. Now we can start pumping grease. When you have pumped enough grease into the grease fitting, you can pull the coupler off of the grease fitting. Sometimes, to get access to the grease fitting on the wheel of a tractor, you may have to move the wheel. Once you are all done, go ahead and clean excess grease off the tractor and coupling with a rag. Loading your grease gun doesn't have to be difficult, especially if you're using a Slippery Pete pistol grip grease gun.